The willing support given to anointed Christians by their companions of the other sheep was foretold by the prophet Isaiah. He wrote, "This is what Jehovah has said. The unpaid laborers of Egypt, and the merchants of Ethiopia, and the Sabaeans, tall men, will themselves come over even to you, and yours they will become. Behind you they will walk." Isaiah 45:14. In a symbolic way, Christians with an earthly hope today walk behind the anointed slave class and its governing body, following their leadership. As unpaid laborers, the other sheep willingly and wholeheartedly expend their strength and their resources in support of the worldwide preaching work that Christ assigned to his anointed followers on earth.
Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Watchtower Examination. My name is Winston, never been a Jehovah's Witness. Slavery is a horrible thing. As a matter of fact, one of the reasons many persons reject Christianity, reject the Bible, and reject God is that they say that the Lord has spoken favorably of slavery, encouraging people to have slaves and to beat slaves and to difficult subject to handle. Slavery is not a good thing. And there were slaves in Bible times who were just servants, who got paid for the work that they do. So that the Bible uses the phrase slave and servant interchangeably. I do not know why the Watchtower has decided not to use them interchangeably, but to only use the word slave, so that even when other translations speak about servant, they use slave. And I submit to you that the Watchtower does that because there is a method to the Watchtower's madness.
The role of the faithful and discreet slave is to feed us, to keep us awake spiritually, and keep us alert.
If you can give a positive view of the word slave, then you would have achieved something. You can make someone a slave, and he will not be offended. And I submit to you that the Watchtower, they are so good at what they do, because they really build their empire on slave labor. Now, this is a ticklish subject. It seems that whenever you touch on anything to do with slavery or servitude, it's a little tricky to touch, because there is nothing wrong with voluntarism. Nothing wrong. The temple in Jerusalem was built by Israelites. And they all volunteered to do it. And as a matter of fact, many churches find the Jehovah's Witnesses method of building their kingdom halls to be quite an envy, because they really admire how witnesses really come together and volunteer to build their kingdom halls. It is admirable. I don't care who you are. It is admirable. It is a good thing to be able to get volunteers. Volunteerism is an excellent thing, that it is one of the best gifts that relief organizations can find. When there is a disaster, when there's an earthquake, you want people to volunteer, and it is a wonderful thing. I am so happy that people do these things naturally when there is a disaster. So I do not want to ever give you the impression that I'm suggesting that there is anything remotely wrong with volunteerism. It is a good thing. But it can be a bad thing when it is exploited. And I believe that this organization has very craftily exploited witnesses to get slave labor to build a massive corporation. Now, I am not so much disturbed about the Watchtower's wealth, but I am disturbed about what they do to keep Jehovah's Witnesses in poverty. I'm going to take you back to an article that was printed in October. I think it was October. I am on site now, not before the computer, but my last recollection was an October article. If I am wrong, I stand corrected, but it was definitely in 2018. The Watchtower said, among other things, this.
When Lloyd and Alexandra learned that they had been reassigned to the field, they at first felt sad. After all, they had been serving at Bethel for over 25 years. Lloyd says, "I felt as if Bethel and my work assignment had become my identity. I mentally appreciated the reasons for the change, but in the weeks and months that followed, I often experienced feelings of rejection. It was an emotional roller coaster. One minute I felt positive, the next I felt dejected." When Osborne and Polite, a South African couple, left Bethel, they thought they would soon have part-time work and a place to live. Unfortunately, recounts Osborne, secular work did not come as soon as we had hoped. His wife, Polite, recalls, "We did not find work for 3 months, and we had no savings. It was a real challenge."
After serving Bethel for decades, these people are let go. There is no mention of a redundancy package, a severance pay, something to keep them for the future. This organization has a bad reputation of causing people not to plan for their retirement by telling them constantly that the end of the world is just around the corner. It is bad enough that you have that sort of rep, but you are still, even outside of the absence, even in the absence of this doomsday thing where you must not prepare for the future, the Watchtower is even getting young people, as it were, to choose poverty. I found this clip disturbing.
Look, I know you got a part-time job lined up and you're gonna pioneer.
Yeah, so
the video production people are here. I'm sure they have part-time.
yeah, I still don't know.
Look, Dennis, you're good at it. Besides, they do corporate videos. Nothing bad. Come on, just talk to them.
All right, I'll check it out.
I hear you. Eventually you want to work part-time to pursue other passions.
Oh, well, I'd like to start part-time.
It's doable. But after you're established, after a few years of hard work and dedication, you'll be able to pick your own jobs, and you'll even get to set your own schedule.
Yeah, that makes sense. Hey, thanks so much for your time.
1 second, before you leave, just so you know, here's what you can make in your first year. My advice, try not to get too caught up in the sacrifice. Think about the payback.
Thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, there are some very important takeaways from this. One, he will be doing corporate production, nothing bad. The Watchtower pointed that out. He will not be doing anything sinful. Secondly, he asked if he could do it part-time, and he was told it is doable. Thirdly, he is told that after maturing in the thing and becoming experienced and having quite a portfolio well established, he will be able to set his own hours. What could be wrong with that? And so he is now given the potential of the income that he can legally earn, ethically earn part-time, and be setting his own schedule. And even with all of that, somehow The Watchtower must find a way to tell this young man, do not accept that kind of success.
Money. No. Wealth. Proverbs 23:4-5. Do not wear yourself out to gain wealth. Stop and show understanding. When you cast your eyes on it, it is not there. For it will surely sprout wings like an eagle and fly off into the sky.
Everybody knows that the love of money can be a terrible thing. People do awful stuff for money. Corruption in politics is often about money. The crime of extortion is about money. Robbery is about money. There are people who would actually wish for their relatives to die so that they can inherit stuff. People do crazy things for money. And people will find themselves so engrossed in the pursuit of wealth that the Bible correctly warns against it. But money in and of itself, there's nothing wrong with it. And it is God who gives us the ability and the power to achieve wealth. God.
Every man also to whom God hath given riches and wealth, and hath given him power to eat thereof, and to take his portion, and to rejoice in his labour, this is the gift of God.
And the Lord is making it clear in His Word that if you were to engage in useful labour and create wealth from it, that is a blessing from God. But is it possible that the Watchtower would point the young man or Jehovah's Witnesses through this video to that text or any of the many passages of Scripture that speaks favorably about money and wealth? Because there are there. As you can find passages against wealth, cautioning against wealth, you will also find many passages where the Lord speaks about blessing His people with wealth. Job was a wealthy man. Read Job 1 and see what Job had. Abraham was a wealthy man. Solomon was super rich. King David was wealthy. Israel was basically a wealthy nation. But this organization is constantly putting it in the minds of witnesses that you must lead a simple life.
Sometimes I just feel so trapped. I know I need to keep my life simple and stay focused on spiritual things.
Look at the Watchtower studio and tell me how simple it is. Look at the Watchtower properties and tell me how simple they are.
Yes, the governing body has approved construction of an additional World Headquarters complex on a 248-acre property purchased in 2009. The property is located 2 miles or about 3 kilometers from the existing World Headquarters facility in Warwick. Our objective is to build a facility similar in size to Warwick, which would include 10 residence buildings, a main office building, 8 studio spaces for audio-video productions, a multi-purpose space including kitchen, dining, and meeting area, plus a visitor center. This will culminate in a location capable of housing over 1,000 volunteers with 920 office spaces and will accommodate audio-video services, text processing, writing correspondence, and the art department.
Why is it that the governing body believes that they deserve to work in the best environment, to have the best of equipment, to have the best properties? They don't think of simplicity when it comes down to their properties. As a matter of fact, one of the things I love about the organization, because there are things about the organization to love, is that the Kingdom Halls are well kept. They have decent furniture. Why is it that the Kingdom Halls must be the best and their properties must be the best, but the members, their lives must be simple?
Do not set your mind on lofty things, but be led along with the lowly things.
So for the Jehovah's Witness, this is unacceptable. Ladies and gentlemen, I cannot stress it enough. This is not a video about a young man who is tempted to go in the entertainment industry that they consider to be satanic and sinful. This is not a video about him gaining wealth in some unethical way. This is a video about a young man having the potential to legally, ethically, decently create so much wealth for himself that he can afford to drive what he wants to drive. And the Watchtower paints that as unacceptable for the Jehovah's Witness. This, on the contrary, is what the Watchtower is encouraging.
Hey, you ready to go?
Yeah, but where's your car? Are you serious? Your car's busted again. You need a new car, man. Can your parents drive us, or?
Well, they want to study right now. We can walk, they'll meet us there. The bakery's just down the street. We'll pick something up for the Rodenkos.
All right.
Are you kidding me? And this is not in the interest of the members. All of this is in the interest of the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society, because they want people to be free to serve the organization. They want you to be free to go out there as sales representatives to recruit new persons to... It's one of the things that I find quite disturbing with religion, with Christianity, with churches, including my own. I believe that there is too much of many times, you have to wonder if the real interest is saving souls for the Lord or increasing the number of persons who are giving offerings, throwing contributions. It all seems to be this massive financial... It is sinful, people. It is wrong. It is so wrong. And the Watchtower takes it to a different level. Other churches, it is so amazing. At my church, in other churches, we have janitors who are paid. When you ask people to contribute, to give offerings to cover the expenses of the church, the expenses of the church includes salaries. So we have persons who come and clean our churches, and they are paid for the labor that they put in. These people have needs. You're asking them to give of their time. It is quite fine to get volunteers. We do get volunteers who assist, but we have persons who are employed to do these things, who are paid to do these things. Why is the Watchtower putting so much effort into getting people to create free time? It's all about building the corporation. It's all about getting, and this is the reason I use the term slave labor over volunteerism, because it is costing people so much so much. I'm going to be playing a clip from XJW Critical Thinkers that I believe says a lot.
We were laughing about how you will often hear about persons who they reach a certain level of financial worth and they may lose it. And in time, we often hear they get it back. But one of the things that you cannot get back, and that's time. What they stole from us is time. And that's something that we will never, ever get back. Time and opportunities that we had at one time, they're gone.
That's true. And the other thing that we discussed this evening was we were talking about how we would tell people that we don't tithe. Mm-hmm. And we would brag about how, oh, you know, we go to the Kingdom Hall and we just donate what we can afford to donate and all that. Mm-hmm. But look at this guy over here, you know, he's got to give 1/10 of his earnings to his church. And we kind of calculated it up and we talked about that. And we said, well, you know what? Let's just say the person made $50,000 a year.
Okay.
They're going to their church,
mm-hmm.
and they pay $5,000 a year tithing.
Tithing.
So they got $45,000 left. Now we're talking about tithing on the gross.
Mm-hmm.
But when you think about what a Jehovah's Witness gives up, then they'd be bragging, oh, we don't tithe, we don't do none of that, right? But what, let's break it down. What do we come up with, Jason?
Yeah, I mean, think back to the assemblies where you would have someone where the organization was always telling us to work part-time and move our books full-time. You take a Jehovah's Witness who made $50,000, just for assumption, and they decide to go take a part-time job, making $25,000 a year so they can move Watchtower products. They lost $25,000 that they'll never get back. And I really felt bad for some of the sisters. You know why? Tell them why, Lady C.
Because my mom did not work a job. And now that she's like up in age, she has no money.
Yeah.
And we live in the Western land, of course, in the United States. So we pay into Social Security here. Mom didn't pay into Social Security. So she has nothing to draw from in her old age.
We always assign the right person to a task, aware of everyone's knowledge, limitations, and abilities.
Need I say more? We are living in the information age, and I'm going to be saying to you, if you are a Jehovah's Witness, go to BibleGateway.com, enter the words money, and look at the many passages that speak about money, and see if they are all negative. And see if you can identify with the positive ones. Go to the passages that speak about wealth. Read them. Take the negative and get the message in it. Take the positive and get the message in it. And then see for yourselves if it is wrong for you to become gainfully employed, doing something decent, and creating a financial future for you and your family. And see this text that I'm going to close with again, and see if you can understand, see if you can pick up from what the Lord is saying, that if you do this, it is His blessing on your life.
Every man also to whom God hath given riches and wealth, and hath given him power to eat thereof, and to take his portion, and to rejoice in his labor, this is the gift of God.
Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, remember to press that like button. I invite you to subscribe to the channel. I am also inviting you to subscribe to my other channel, Things Jamaican, that will help to keep this channel going. The links are in the description below. Thanks again. Do come again. Have yourself a wonderful day.
May the grace of the Lord Jesus Christ and the love of God and the fellowship of the Holy Spirit be with you all.